Hello, so my name's Edward and I run Weight Loss with Edward and I'm a weight loss coach. So if you have any questions about how to lose weight nice and easily, or if you want some advice about improving your daily routine to get life feeling better, then ask away. So what I recommend for people to get weight off nice and easily is that they hold off consuming calories for a little while in the morning. And hello Pamela. Hold off consuming calories too early in the morning. Likewise at night, have a cut-off when you will be not having any more calories after a certain time of night. During the day, you can't consume too many calories, and I say sugar is bad for you, and that's true, sugar is bad for you. But carbs are sugar, sadly. When we consume sugar, or whether that be refined sugar or fructose or carbs, they're all broken down into glycogen, and the liver absorbs that glycogen, the body's version of sugar. So if you want to lose weight, sadly, your body has to empty the liver of glycogen before it can start burning fat. So the more sugar that you consume during the day, the longer it will be before your body goes into fat burning mode during the night. So what I help people with is putting together a routine where there's enough time in the morning that you're not consuming calories. So your body through the night has been burning fat and it continues to burn fat up until the point where you first consume calories. Then during the day, you find the right amount of food for you. You have to be in a calorific deficit to lose weight. So you find the right amount of calories for you to fuel your day. And then you have a cut-off in the evening so that when you finish consuming calories and your body's using up those calories as energy, then at some point your body will run out of those consumed energy cells, calories, and it'll switch to breaking up fat cells and getting the energy from them to fuel you being alive and your bodily function. So if you can have, say, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. as a cutoff when you stop consuming calories, then your body by midnight, 1 in the morning, even 2 in the morning, will have finished using up all those calories that you've consumed that day and emptied the liver of sugar, and then you switch to running on burning fat. So through the night, your bodily function and getting up for a pee or breathing, everything that you're doing requires energy. Being alive requires running on energy. Well, if you haven't consumed any more calories, then your body's looking for another source of energy. And all that fat cells are, it's energy that you've consumed in the past and you haven't been able to use that up. So it's storing the excess energy for a rainy day. That's what fat cells are. So if you can get to finishing your calorie consumption in the evening time at some point and then let your body use up those consumed calories, then some point in the night time your body switches to breaking open fat cells, releasing the energy from them, and that way your body is burning fat all night. And that's why we hold off a couple of hours in the morning or a few hours, maybe even lunchtime, before you consume your first calorie, because all those hours from when your body switched to running on burning fat cells up until the point where you first consume your calories the next day, your body has been running on burning fat, so you'll lose a lot of weight. So if you want to look at it sort of mainstream terms, what I recommend is that you have to be in a calorific deficit. The keto diet works, but it's so restrictive that it can make you quite miserable because there's so few food options. So even just reducing your carb intake a little bit means that your sugar intake's being reduced. Being in a calorific deficit, not overdoing it on the sugar and the carbs, and eating in what I'd call an eating window. So you're holding off till a certain time till you consume your first calories of the day, and then you're closing that window in the evening time, be it 7, 8 p.m, a time where your body can then get to work on using up those calories, and then maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you've finished using up those calories that you've consumed, and the body's switching to running on burning fat. If you can combine those three things, so being in a calorific deficit, eating in an eating window, and reducing your carb and sugar intake, you'll lose weight really quickly. Of course, any movement helps. So you don't have to join a running club, but you can take a few more steps. If you're going for a walk, you can put a bottle of water in a backpack, making your body work a little bit harder, so it's burning calories a little bit quicker. If you are working out or doing some weights, then the more muscle that you have on your body, muscle requires more calories to be there, so you can get away with eating more calories and it burns off quicker the more muscle you have on your body. So working out does help, but it's not necessary to work out or run or do any sort of great exercise to lose weight. You can do it by being in a calorific deficit. You can do it by reducing your sugar and carb intake. You can do it by eating in a more compressed eating window. But the combination of the three work really nicely together. So an example day might be you don't consume any calories till 10 a.m. And then between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. you eat maybe 1,200 or 1,400 calories of lower carb things. So you're not building your meals around stodgy, starchy carbs. You are trying to find alternatives. So instead of bread, pasta, rice, potatoes with every meal, you could have, a tuna mayo roll might be typical lunch, but you could have tuna mayo in a little tub, and that would be delicious, nutritious, protein, brilliant. But you wouldn't be getting the ill effects of eating the stodgy, starchy carbs, because they cause bloating, they interrupt digestion, they mess with your bowels, they mess with your skin, they mess with your sleep, they mess with your mood. So carbs, not all carbs are bad for you, because most foods have carbs in them, but the stodgy, starchy carbs, gluten, is not really human friendly. If you can eat meals and snacks that are not built around stodgy, starchy carbs, then you'll find that actually you feel a lot better. Also, what many of us do is that we get up in the morning and we'll either have breakfast or a cup of tea or coffee with sugar in it. But if we're having breakfast, porridge, toast, cereal, all the typical breakfast things, they're all high in carbs and sugar. And so you spike your blood sugars, and then about mid-morning, 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, blood sugars crash. Maybe you're at the office and you think, oh, I need a little something to keep me going till lunchtime. So it's a little biscuit, or if we're being good, it's a bit of fruit. Usually everything that we have would be the sort of thing that spikes our blood sugars again. And then they crash at lunchtime, so we're ready for our lunch. And then mid-afternoon, same happens, our blood sugars crash, so we feel tired and that we can't keep going in the office. So we have a little something, a biscuit, a cupcake, a cup of tea or coffee. Again, spiking our blood sugars, and then they crash for our evening meal time. And then about 8 p.m. or around that sort of time, I need a little something to keep me going. Again, that's just your blood sugars have been spiked at your evening meal, and then they're crashing again in the evening. So it's a little biscuit, or it's sweeties, or it's ice cream, or it's a round of toast, glass of wine, bag of crisps. All of these things, what we're doing is we're just trapped in a kind of blood sugar spiking and crashing cycle. So our energy levels are never good. Actually, when we eat a little bit less frequently, a little bit less sugar, our blood sugars actually just start to just self-regulate. And so they don't have these massive peaks and troughs. They just stay fairly consistent. Also, a lot of people experience that when you eat a lot of carbs and sugar in the evening time, you wake up feeling almost hungover. It's like a sugar hangover. When we're eating a little bit less sugar, when we're eating a little bit less carbs, and we're eating a little bit less late at night, you find that you sleep better, but you also wake more refreshed and you don't have that groggy feeling. And it can really make life a lot better. So if anyone has any questions, then please just ask. But what I recommend for people is, you can eat things like stew and casserole and lots of meats and cheeses and eggs and omelettes, and there's lots and lots of things that you can eat. And I'm not suggesting that you never eat a carbohydrate, because actually if you look into vegetables and fruit, these things are not bad for you. But if you were looking to lose weight quickly, cutting down how much sugar you consume, what that does is, so your body will, when you consume sugar, your body breaks down that sugar into glycogen. Your liver absorbs that glycogen, and your body has to break that down before it can get round to breaking down fat cells. So therefore, if you eat less sugar, your body can switch to running on burning fat cells a lot more easily and a lot more quickly. So again, so if you were to start consuming calories at 10 a.m. and then you had a little something, maybe a little bit of cheese or meats or, poached eggs and some bacon, and then something for lunch, and then your evening meal. And let's say that at 7 p.m. you finished consuming any calories. So after 7 p.m. it would be black tea, black coffee, herbal tea, fruit tea, sugar-free diluting juice or water. Then your body from 7 p.m. would be getting to work on breaking down the sugar in your liver and also using up the calories that you've consumed that day. So by, say, 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, your body would have finished breaking down all that sugar and using up all those consumed calories. Therefore, at that moment, your body that still needs an energy source to keep you alive starts breaking open fat cells. And when it's breaking open fat cells, that's them now coming off your body. They'll probably come out of your body in your urine. And so if you spend from 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. until 10 a.m. the next day, where your body has only been running purely on burning fat cells, that's 8 hours of burning fat. Obviously, people hold off till noon, then you've got even longer from 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. And so what we're trying to do is we're reaping the benefits essentially of intermittent fasting, but nothing too extreme. The keto diet, but not quite as strict as that. So the keto diet is under 20 grams of carbs a day. Lazy keto, as some people call it, is less than 50 grams of carbs a day. So you can still have veggies on your plate, you can still have a rice cracker here or there, but you're still being mindful of how many carbs and how much sugar you're consuming, because you can reap the benefit of quicker fat loss by consuming less. And you have to be in a calorific deficit. If you think of a bodybuilder who's trying to get bigger and bulk up, they bring in lots of extra food to get bigger. So of course it makes sense that you have to eat less food than you have been, because when you are eating, say for 6 months you've stayed the same weight, then you're eating maintenance for that weight. That's what you're currently doing. If you aren't getting particularly heavier or particularly lighter, you've found maintenance, and that's your current routine. So when you start putting in less calories, your body at the size that you're currently at needs that many calories to stay at that same weight. You deprive it of those calories, your body has to get smaller. So you're always actually seeking maintenance for the weight that you want to be at. So if you imagine, hypothetically, you're eating 2,000 calories a day and you're staying at that same weight for 6 months, eating 2,000 calories a day. Pam, I'll get to your question in a second. If you were to then eat 1,000 calories a day, you would be in 1,000 calorie deficit every single day. And so if you did that repeatedly, your body would need to burn 1,000 calories worth of fat cells to make up the numbers so that you're alive for 24 hours. So maintenance means how many calories does your body need to stay exactly as it is and run for 24 hours? So let's call it 2,000. So if you eat more than 2,000 calories a day, you'll get bigger because you're bringing in a surplus. And all that fat cells are is you've brought in too much energy or more energy than your body requires, and it's keeping some for a rainy day. It makes a fat cell, the energy stored in that. If you bring in less calories than those 2,000 calories, then your body has to turn to that backup supply of energy, fat, and break open the fat cells to make up the numbers so that you have enough energy to be alive for 24 hours. Pamela's asking about steroids. Yeah, you're on steroids 8 a day at the moment. I would say that it's very difficult to lose weight while you're taking steroids, sadly. I think I would hope that it's not a long-term plan to be on steroids sort of forevermore. So maybe the goal while you're on those steroids is to be as well as you can be rather than losing weight at this particular moment. So if you're even to stay the same, stay hydrated, sleep well, try and keep stress down, all those things greatly affect weight loss. So which brings up cortisol. When we are stressed or when we're not sleeping, our cortisol, the stress hormone, levels are high. What happens is while we're awake, the body is releasing cortisol, and it keeps us awake and alert, and they call it the stress hormone. When we sleep and when we meditate and things, our cortisol levels drop through the floor. While our cortisol levels are high, we basically can't burn fat. So an insomniac will find it very difficult to lose weight because they never have that break from high cortisol. And actually when they're stressing about not sleeping, that's their cortisol levels even higher. I was reading a study the other day that was suggesting that what cortisol is doing is it's tricking the body into making sugar. And so when you're stressed, if your body then starts producing sugar that then has to be broken down before you can burn any fat, that means that if you are going through life really, really stressed, then your body will be constantly having to break down that new supply of sugar that you're actually producing yourself. So Sleep, really important. We actually lose most of our weight while we're sleeping. So if you're at the gym and you're working hard, the weight is not flying off you at that moment. Actually, what happens is, so your body breaks down fat cells, and then they are still inside your body, and they come out in fluid, basically. So if you get up in the night to go to the bathroom, you'll be peeing out fat cells, and also the moisture particles on your breath. So long, slow, steady breaths, there's more moisture particles coming out of your body, and they are those broken down fat cells. And like I say, every time you wake up in the night, your cortisol levels fly through the roof again. That again stalls and stops the weight loss process. So the more that you can have 7-8 hours sleep, unbroken sleep, the better. I know that's not always easy. The less emotionally stressed you can become, the less thrown about you feel throughout your day, the easier it is to lose weight. So hydration, movement, stress, sleep, happiness. I also think that if you're not sleeping well, then you're probably not very energetic the next day. You're probably pretty tired. If you're pretty tired, you're more likely to reach for something to help boost your energy. So a short-term fix, so the donut, the cupcake, the piece of chocolate, because you need a little something, a little boost to keep you going. And so the way that you help yourself to resist temptation is go to bed a little bit earlier, stop scrolling so late into the night, because the better rested you are, although physically it helps you lose the weight, it also really helps you to sort of strengthen your resolve for resisting temptation the next day. So I certainly know that if I'm feeling well rested and I'm on top of life and I'm well organized, then when someone says, do you want a cupcake? Oh, I might take it, yeah. But I'm quite able to say, no, I'm on the case today and I'm having a good day and I don't want to let myself down. I want to kick ass today. But if I've had 2 hours sleep and I'm absolutely exhausted and work's a bit stressful, and then when someone says, oh, do you want a cupcake? I say, give me the bloody cupcake. And we've all been there, I think. And then also for making good food choices, if you've not slept well and it's been a long day at work, maybe you've got to feed the kids when you get home, then when it comes to your evening mealtime and when you're going to decide what's for tea and you're exhausted and your day's been more difficult because you're exhausted, the likelihood of, just pick up a takeaway or we'll just put in pizzas, then it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. Pamela, no sleep at all last night. Take a nap. If you can, get a nap today. Or just maybe a short one so that you do sleep tonight. I know that you've been struggling a little bit recently, but keep going. Try not to worry. Take your medication and just do your very, very best. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, please just fire them in. I've actually been looking at the language that we use around diets, and I hate it. I think that we talk a lot about diet, and diet language is negative language, and I don't mean nasty or bad. I mean it's all about can't do, shouldn't do. I'm glad you're resting, Pamela. It's all based around don't do that, can't do that, shouldn't do that, regret that. It's all negative. Well, everything else in life that we want to achieve, they're generally proactive things. So I want to learn to drive, you take driving lessons. You want to learn a new language, you book classes. They're all doing things. They're positive in the sense that they are proactive actions. A diet, I hate the word, but a diet means not doing something. Not doing something in the hope of attaining something. Well, you're taking a negative action to try and achieve a positive thing. And I think that really goes against the grain of our nature. Whereas if we can think of our new healthy eating routine and life and lifestyle as positive things, then it can become a positive journey to a positive outcome. Now, these aren't just word games. It really matters. I've spoken to thousands of people in the last 5 years about the reason that they think they're a failure, that they're rubbish, that they can't do it, that they're not good enough. They feel guilt and shame and embarrassment and frustration and anger and all these things. All of that comes from the negative language, negative self-talk. So what I've done is I've kind of designed this 24-hour clock into nutrition hours and healing hours. So if you think of the moment that you start consuming calories in the day, that's your nutrition hours begun. So in those nutrition hours that you're going to have in that day, how many good things can you get in? So nutrition is the building block are the building blocks of health. So tasty, colourful, interesting, flavoursome, nutritious food. So fats and proteins, vitamins, minerals. Can you get in plenty of that good stuff? When you are eating, how much good stuff can you get in? Now, if you eat all the good stuff and then a piece of chocolate, it doesn't undo the good stuff that you put in. You've still put the good stuff in, so there's no reason to feel like the day is ruined, to be unkind to yourself, to be annoyed. It's plenty of good stuff and that bounty bar. It's not the end of the world. You can still be positive about your day. Well, I still had a salmon stir fry for my evening meal, and it was eggs and bacon for breakfast this morning. That's all good, healthy, nutritious building blocks. And then when your nutrition hours finish, your healing hours begin. So what action can I take? Again, positive action can I take to make my life better, to heal either my mind or my body? And so an early night, read a book, phone a friend, be in nature, go for a walk, have a bath. All things that are good for your mind or your body. If you're breaking, but the nutrition hours, it's a positive thing. It's not can't, shouldn't, wouldn't, not meant to do that. It's all thinking about the positive of it. The healing hours is all about what action can I take. It's an early night. It's starting that book you've been meaning to start, getting in touch with that old friend, building some bridges. All nice things and good things that are good for you. Well, if your nutrition hours are all good things, trying to get as many good things in, and your healing hours are all positive actions that you can take to make your mind and your body healthier and happier, then all of your 24-hour cycle is a positive experience. And none of it requires guilt, shame, embarrassment, regret, restraint. I often say, which sounds like a better day? If I sort of withhold anything that I enjoy long enough, I might get thinner. Or I'm going to fuel my day being amazing. So I'm going to put in really good stuff that makes my blood sugars nice and stable, my energy levels good, makes my body feel great and sort of charged. And then I'm going to take action to make sort of my mind more at peace or better. Maybe it's journaling or whatever it might be. Then that's an entirely different journey from this idea of what the diet has always been, which is just deprive myself enough to get thin. It's pretty misery making, to be honest. But if anyone has any questions, I have to go just now. I've actually got an appointment in 4 minutes. Send me a wee message. Just if you have a question, ask. And if I can help, I will. You don't have to come on board to get some advice. It's Weight Loss with Edward. It's £1 a day for my support. I run one-to-one calls and classes every day and daily recipes and meal plans and a community of people supporting each other. Tons and tons of stuff. If you'd like some more information about that, then ask. But if you're just looking for some tips, then get in touch and we can most certainly sort you out with that, okay? But I hope you have a good day and I hope you are ready or nearly ready to get started on your journey and to get started kicking ass. Have a good one.